Hello again, boys and girls. Mr. K, welcoming you to another week of art class, distance learning style. I trust you all had a nice weekend. The sun is shining today. Let's make the most of it by starting off a new project for the week. Let me remind you before we begin that I'm still trying to track down some past assignments from many of us. Please adhere to the deadlines established at the end of every week. Post your graded projects for the week by 3 o'clock p.m. And it just makes it so much simpler on me and everyone involved so that we don't have to chase after you, so to speak, and try to get you to, play catch up with your work. Try to keep pace each and every day by watching the videos and completing the assigned tasks. And what I try to do is keep the artistic tasks simple enough that you can do them at your home with very little need for other supplies aside from what you basically have there already. We've even gone as far as saying that it doesn't even have to be plain white paper. Some people turn their assignments in on lined paper, and that's fine. Pencil only is fine. Color is always, a welcome addition, but just do the best you can, okay? Thank you for your cooperation. I truly appreciate all your hard work, and many of you kiddos are just doing such an amazing job, and I truly appreciate that. Okay, so let's get started. I think I had mentioned in this morning's post that we were going to talk about the silhouetted type of artistic piece that we were really discussing at great length before school was shut down because of the pandemic, and many of us had already chosen a silhouette behind which we were adding some really cool and entertaining and interesting Zentangle patterns. So as you can see here, what I did on this yellow sheet of paper was I did a general internet search for a silhouetted artist, and I printed it out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to start off my project, my example project for you for the week. Hopefully you have access to a printer, but if you do not, many of us can do gentle tracings from our computer screen or our Chromebook screen. I've even seen kids do gentle tracings from their cell phones or tablets, although that's not ideal because that image is really small as opposed to this image here is on a 9 by 12, well, that's probably 8.5 by 11 sheet of computer paper. But do the best you can with what you have available, and you can make this project work no matter what. To save a little bit of time today, I'm going to use a light table here. As you can see, the light table just illuminated our surface here, and it's a really cool thing. And if you remember, some of us were using these light tables in school before we got shut down, and they really make your task a lot simpler and easier as far as superimposing an object, or a person in this case, and an object onto your artistic piece. Okay, so I just did a general internet search on silhouetted artists, and I came up with this guy here, and I like the image here. It's kind of cool. I'm a bald guy, LOL, and so I like the hat because I wear a lot of hats, and it kind of has maybe this Vincent van Gogh-esque feel to it because Vincent would paint outdoors a lot, and he always had a hat on his head, so I kind of like that. Okay, now I know you won't have the benefit of a light table at your house, but you can do a tracing of sorts if you are able to print out the image like I was able to do here. And what you can do is you can take your blank sheet of paper, which I have a white sheet of paper here, And you can do exactly what I'm doing, except you would use a window to the outside. And you could put the image up on your window and do the tracing in a very similar manner that I'm going to accomplish here. You don't have to trace, though. I know there's many of you that would probably do quite well with freehanding the silhouette, and that is definitely an option as well. I'm just going to go with the tracing because it'll probably make things a lot simpler for us and quicker and easier, and it'll just be a little more convenient for me as your instructor. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I've got my number 2 pencil here, and I've got my large pink eraser just in case I need it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of go in and around my main figure here, and I'm really not doing gestural lines. What I'm doing is I'm kind of pressing a little more firmly so that I get a strong overall impression of the mark I'd like there to be on my page. Okay, I won't do the easel for now, just to save some time, because I know this is just basic tracing and you really don't need to sit here and watch me trace this whole thing. That might get a little old after a while, but I just want to make sure I hit up a few basics with you before we leave off for the day. When we were in the room, I had a whole pile of these, if you guys recall, in the back of the room, and people were going back a few at a time and picking their favorite silhouette. It's a shame we don't have all those options, but we do have the internet, which will give us hundreds, if not thousands, of choices from which to select and work. Okay, so I'm going to pull this away. Let's get rid of this yellow sheet of paper for now. There's a nice little outline of our guy. What I'm going to do next is, let me get a paper towel here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this silhouette in Sharpie, and I don't want to stain up my screen with the Sharpie marker. So we'll put a little protective barrier there in place, but what I'm going to do now is, let me go to the thicker side. Let me go to a different Sharpie. Mr. K's got to clean his studio today. He let it get a little cluttered this weekend, so I got to tidy up here. So here I am, outlining my silhouette. You know, we talked about these silhouettes in school, dark, shadowy outline. And then what we said was we're going to have to make a decision. Do we want to leave this silhouette just as an outline, or do we want to color it in? The choice is yours. I think it looks really cool either way, but I'm probably going to color mine in. Not today, not on the video. Let me switch over to a thinner Sharpie here for his brush and hand to be careful around that. Okay, I'm probably going to color mine in, and we'll get to the Zentangle portion as we work through the week. But if you could, for today, find yourself a silhouette online on your computer, on your cell phone, if you could somehow superimpose that silhouette onto a white sheet of paper, and if you could outline that somehow in a dark pen or marker, that would be outstanding. We'll talk more moving forward what we want to do with this project, but here's what I'm going to do in the meantime between now and the next lesson. I'll not only have this guy colored in, I'll probably have the easel standing next to him so that we can start talking about some of these Zentangle patterns in the background. Okay, which is kind of where we left off when we were still in school together. Many of us had superimposed the image, and they were looking really, really cool. There were ballet dancers and sports figures and just all kinds of really cool silhouettes that pertain to your likes and interests, etc. So that's kind of where we left off, and some of you were perhaps just barely getting started into the Zentangle patterns. So we'll talk more tomorrow. Good luck finding a silhouette today, and good luck superimposing. And remember, get those assignments in if you still owe me something. And as always, happy art making and happy drawing. Till we meet again. Thanks, kiddos. Bye now.